Yo, what's going on out there, everybody? Thanks so much for tuning in to your soul mapping astral weather report for July 12th, 2019. I'm Thomas, and the astral weather report is where I synthesize aspects of astrology, the I Ching, human design, gene keys, and a little bit of Akashic intuitive wisdom to give you a better idea of some of the energies that will be at play today, from the genetic all the way up to the cosmic levels.
It is the only consistent truth that there is before us is our fault.
Well, I feel like we're really going to start to feel a shift in some of the energy today. Not quite so much challenging tension going on in our body and in our environment and different things in general. Mars has started to finally come off of its square with Uranus and move past those points, and Mercury is starting to come back towards Cancer and coming off of that square too. And the moon just made its way from Scorpio into Sagittarius, where it's going to be making some nice aspects today. So definitely don't feel like it's going to be a big shift that's going to be coming a little bit more into this weekend, as the moon conjuncts Jupiter and the sun will be transitioning into a new point. Mars will be transitioning into a new code. And then we'll really start to feel some of these energies kind of shift. But overall, I feel like today's going to be pretty great. The sun is on the 53.6 now, but it's coming into its opposition with Pluto, and this is definitely playing a part in this shift. You know, so much has been growth and expansion out of these old ways of kind of just immature ways of being, looking at things more from a collective perspective. Now we're kind of being more objective with that, looking at how we can start to put a language around, at least internally, a language around a lot of the things that are really inspiring us. There's so many possibilities with Pluto on the 61.2. There's so many possibilities for things that inspire us, feeling very truthful, feeling like we want to create new structures around different things that are going to support a more comfortable life. But we're going to start to get objective with those things and look at the ones that both are inspiring and also part of this new kind of collective intelligence and more communal, comfortable way of being that we can get into, that is going to support us emotionally, and not just on a structure level, and not just what's inspiring to us either, but you know, those things that are actually going to really be something deeper and more meaningful, that's in alignment with like a higher spiritual truth that's going on. Because you know, we have lots of desires, lots of passions, and we also have to make choices at certain times about which ones we're going to get into, at least how we're going to get into them, and surrendering things into the overall being too. Now, with moon making trine to Mars on the 9, this is going to be like, you know, where we could start to nurture this influential leader that we have inside of ourselves, this part of us that can really reorder and restructure these kind of like hierarchical ways of looking at things. We're starting to kind of go beyond that and to look at things more objectively in that scope as well. And then trining over to Mercury on the 31-2, this is going to be about, you know, really reviewing a lot of things internally, you know, where we're going on this adventure, what's going to be in alignment with this higher spiritual calling, but that's also going to allow us the influence that we need to attract different support, really tapping into how can we tap into that inner leader, you know, reorganizing our internal language, or perhaps even external languages, documents, projects, and things like that, really coming up with more of this kind of light language that's going to allow us to take that sort of space that we feel internally, that being that wants to come out. Because it's so important that we reorganize our language and our intentions into this space that can actually channel those frequencies, right? Because that's what language does, is it's like we can have certain frequencies behind words, but we also have to look at the details and precision of how those words come out. And that's going to allow for that new being to get delivered and to attract those that we really want to attract, that are part of our tribe that's developing, part of this aspect of collective consciousness that we play in a part of, where we can really be that leader and also have that influence. And we may feel there may be some guidance that comes in today on some of the details where we can focus and shift things around a little bit to be more in alignment. Finally, Venus is going to sextile over to Vesta, and this is all about, in this development of, reworking our language and our intentions to provide this vehicle for a being. This is also ensuring that this is going to be something that gives us that like sovereign independence that we want, that's not necessarily so dependent on others, especially when it comes to recreating our material reality and, kind of leveling up in terms of value systems as well. So I am going to tap into the cards to see what's the overarching energy that we can expect for today. What can we tune into to help us move through and navigate some of these energies we have going on. Gate 7, the army, the role of the self. And of course, this code comes up because that's where Mars and Mercury are still on the 31, which opposes this channel to the 7. And this is, this energy has been coming up so much lately. We're looking at, how can we gather that army, that group of people that will really work cohesively and coherently, where we can have the influence that we want and that's aligned with us, and also that's going to support us in our vision and that we feel good about supporting too. So hope this has been helpful for you. As always, tap into your innermost authority, see if it feels right for you, and thanks for tuning in to the Astral Weather Report.